this video, we're going to learn how to prepare an application receipt agreement. An application receipt agreement is an agreement by where when we have a tenant or a potential tenant or client that's ready to move forward on a home, we want to try to grab that deposit before we even approve them, in fact. So what we do is we tell the tenant, okay, we usually have them drive by the home, take a look, we ask them a few questions, we get them pre-qualified, and then at that point, if we haven't showed them the home because the home is vacant sometimes, or maybe we have showed them the home, or maybe we're meeting them at the home to show the home. So an application receipt agreement can happen in a few different circumstances. So let's take the latter. So we're going to meet them at the home to show them the home, but they haven't turned in an application yet. Now at that point, we've already pre-qualified them on the phone to make sure that they are qualified for the home. So once we pre-qualify them, they drove by the home, they like it. Now we would ask them a question like, well, if you look at the inside of the home and you like the home, do you think you would move forward on it? If they tell us yes at that point, then we want an application receipt agreement with us when we meet with that client. So what the application receipt agreement says is that, hey, this is what the payment is, this is what you're signing for, you're giving me a deposit, I'm going to hold the home, and you're going to give me your application. We're going to take your application home with us, and within 24 hours we're going to tell you if you're approved or not. If you're not approved, we're going to refund your deposit to you. If you do get approved, it's a non-refundable deposit. So if you change your mind on the house, it's non-refundable. So that's what an application receipt agreement is. It's a deposit mechanism that can capture the deposit in a non-refundable way, or we could refund it if they don't get approved. But at this point, remember, we did pre-approve them, so we're pretty sure that they're going to qualify for it at this point. So having said that, what we will typically do is we'll go into the agreement section. There's two ways to get an application receipt agreement out of Dropbox. First of all, you can get a blank one out of the Cab Homes, real estate forms, or we can simply, what I like to do is go to the old ones that are in the house that we're going to be using. For example, right now, we're going to be, this Justin Manring in Freeman, 818 Freeman, is moving out of the house. So we're getting an application receipt agreement on 818 Freeman, the front part. So I'm going to go into 818 Freeman. What we want to do is, since this application receipt agreement is already filled out for this house, all I have to do is change any numbers that we might have changed. And guess what? We did change some numbers. So we have a reservation fee on this application for $560. Now, the $560 on an application receipt agreement, we always try to get the one payment, the first payment. Do we always get the first payment? No. Maybe they might tell us, well, would you take $300 down and stuff like that? Yeah, we will. We'll take $300 down. I already spoke to this gentleman, and he was okay with taking, with putting the $560 down. So what the application receipt agreement says is that we're going to take a discounted installment of $560, and that's required for holding the property until the applicant moves in and is being paid and starts paying herein. So this receipt agreement is signed by all the adults that's in the application, and they understand that this is a discounted rate per month of $560. And what does a discounted rate means? When they pay their payments on time, their payments are $560. When they don't make their payments on time, the payment on this house is $610. So you can see that we agreed to discount this installment, $50, when the rent is due on time, from the full rent amount, and we have to change these numbers in there, of $610. So we change these numbers in there, we change the date, everything else should be in there. Okay. In this section of the application receipt agreement, it talks about getting a copy of their driver's license, identification cards, social security cards they had. I'm not really worried that much about that. any paycheck stubs or anything of that sort. So we want to explain that to them before we meet with them to bring the stuff that we need. I don't get social security numbers anymore, so I'll usually take this out. We'll get that on the application. A lot of times I find in this day and age, people are not comfortable with their social security number. So we will put their full name in, and then when we meet with them, we will write in exact amount we got right here with the receipt, and we typically will, if we make a copy for them right there for near a copier, or we'll let them know that we're going to email them a copy later. Now, why do we not fill this in right away? Because sometimes you get there and they don't have the full 560. And even though you were clear to them, they go, oh, I thought I could just put 400 down. So sometimes you might have to make an adjustment while you're out there. So that is how we prepare and meet and copy and get everybody going with an application receipt agreement. And this is how we take a deposit and hold the property for a future tenant.